Well, greetings everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. And I know we're all getting tired of waiting. We wait and we wait and we hope for good news, and things have improved in the last several days. And it seems that there's going to be a slow transition to normal, back to normal. And I think we're all loving normal more and more as we see it in our rearview mirror. And I am looking forward to those days that we can be back here at church again, of course. And I know everyone is hoping that. And I want to talk about waiting. I want to talk about professional waiting. I feel like we ought to get an award for the kind of waiting we've had to go through, and get some sort of a pendant to put on our lapel, because we've all been waiting, and we've done well. I think we have. We've made the adjustments, and those things are not hard, are easy to do. The adjustments we've had to make. And again, I'll say I appreciate our team here at church that gathers and is able to put together a service. And there are so many that are working behind the scenes to make it happen, and I appreciate it very, very much. And I know you do too. We've had some great comments about it, but it's not what we had ordered, and we'll be glad to get back to normal. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 28 through 31 talks about waiting. And verse 28 says, "Have you not known? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And we've even sing the song about that. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. And it is a song, and it is a verse that is to encourage us to just, when you're waiting, to keep on waiting until God comes through. But the reason that we struggle with waiting, and let's be honest, we all do struggle with waiting, is the season that we're going through right now. It makes it particularly difficult to wait with any patience or style at all. We admit we are not good at this. We don't like it. But let's go back to our last Sunday we had. I've referred to it many times because it was the last Sunday that we were together. But it was an amazing Sunday. It was Pentecostal to the core. Then we changed gears and we adjusted down to this lean church, skinny church, whatever you want to call it. It's not what we desire, but it's what we are able to do, and we will continue as long as we have to. And I hope it's not that much longer. It's a possibility that we could begin to have some semblance of normalcy, perhaps even bringing some in. I don't know. We've got some ideas. We've heard some good ideas. But I look for the day that we'll all be gathered here in a congregation and it's safe. But we want to be sure when we do that it is safe. But this type of meeting, where I'm in my office and talking to my phone camera, if you've noticed today, I moved over to the sofa. I just had to get somewhere different. And as I thought about the same scene at my desk, I thought, oh, that's getting tired. And who knows, where we'll be next time. But I had to do something to change it up. Got tired of the normal. And you at home, you're waiting. And then you're waiting. You may not be able to go to work. You may be going to work. I think most people are. But none of us are enjoying this here. We struggle with waiting because while we wait, we're having far from normal life. And think about the times you was at work and you wish you could get home, and now you're at home and you're at home and you're at home. You're just spending so much time at home. So thank you for waiting. Your call is very important to us. Thank you for waiting. But we wait for the things that are worth waiting for. And we do that sometimes gladly. But there is a point, no matter what you're waiting for, there is a point where the waiting is just, it's enough. I'm done already with the waiting. And but we don't mind waiting if the prize is worth it, if what we're going to obtain is worth it, which makes the waiting a difficult task. I went to the DMV a couple of months ago, and I walked up to the door, and it seemed there were some people at the door coming out, not going in. I thought, well, it looks kind of confused. That's not a good sign. And the lady said, I'm sorry, but we had a transformer that went out. Lightning struck yesterday, and they fixed it. But now we heard it blow up again. But their electric company's on the way. You can go home, come back another day, or you can go in your car and wait. So I went to my car to decide what I wanted to do. And I thought, all right, it's 15 minutes back home, and then it's 15 minutes back here another day to wait. And so I don't know. I think I'll just sit in my car, and I'll wait 15 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, I looked up, and I saw the electric truck come, behind me in my mirror. I saw him pull in, and I thought, well, it may not be that much longer. And then maybe 10 more minutes, I got up and walked up to the door, and they had already assembled inside in a line. And I got in a line, and within a minute, I think I picked a number. And within 2 minutes, they called my number. And I thought, now, this is a very well-run DMV. I remember years ago, you'd get there early in the morning, and you were going to be there for hours. And they bought a new facility. They changed it up. They made it great. And so now they always talk about, you have to wait at the DMV. Well, not in Lakeland, at least not the days that I've gone. The last 2 times have been great. And so I like it because I didn't have to wait. And really, it doesn't matter how comfortable the seats are. I don't like to wait. And I might have mentioned this yesterday, but I'm old enough to get away with, repeating things. But I have had to go to waiting rooms, and it is if they buy furniture that is to torture you so that you are less comfortable about waiting. I don't understand. One of the places, and I've been to 2 chiropractors, that I've used here in Lakeland, and both of them have chairs that seem to make you need the chiropractor. And if I think if I was a chiropractor, I would buy chairs that were ergonomically pleasing, but maybe then you wouldn't want to get up. I don't know. But to me, it's funny that I go to the chiropractor, and if I don't need him, I will when I get through waiting. And maybe that's the whole thing, is they want you to feel a lot better. But I digress quite a bit with that. Some will faint. Our scripture said, they will faint. The youth shall even faint and be weary. The young men will utterly fall. It can get to that point. But it said, those who wait on the Lord. If he is in your sights, if you're saying, God, we're going through a time of waiting, but I've got my sights on you. I'm waiting on you, God. I'm waiting on your purpose in my life. Those are the ones that renew their strength. So you see, it's really all about what way you're facing. It's about attitude. We could lose heart, and we could truly get into a cycle of worry and concern. But if we focus on God and say, Lord, through all of this, my goal is you. I want to please you. I'm waiting on the Lord. And if we can get to the point where God is our reason, then the waiting becomes a purpose of God. The situation we're in, we're getting on the right track with God, and we can say, Lord, let what I'm doing, let it be a benefit to me spiritually. Let it be a benefit to me today, so that when I'm through with my waiting period right here and I go to the next appointment, I can say that I've been blessed, that I took my number, you called my name, and everything worked out, and I was able to move to the next stage that you have for me to continue. Some will faint and fall, but those who wait will renew. Matthew 10:22 says, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who endures to the end, he will be saved. So we realize waiting does have a great deal to do with just endurance. How long can you sit there? How long can you wait there? How long can you see the same scenery and still have a passion for God? How long can you see the same things happen, but still have in you a knowledge, an understanding that there will be a change at some point? And one of the biggest battles we fight is to come up against our limitations. Think about this. We come up against that place where we can't move left or right. When we come against our limitations, when we come against our lack of patience with ourselves, patience with other people, what happens? Frustration. We get despondent. We doubt. We begin to look inward. We begin to label ourselves as failures. We're not like people that I know that are better than me. But he who endures to the end, that's the person that'll be saved. It didn't say you won't make mistakes. It doesn't say you're not going to look bad. No, we will look bad. We're going to go through things that are going to reveal our humanity. It's going to reveal our lack of patience and our weakness. But if we can just endure to the end, the same will be saved. See, there's a certain mentality that we get when we're waiting in a crowd. It's like we all know that we're not happy with this. And there's those in a crowd that you can tell the ones that are more impatient than others. And years ago, there's some people that are at their age, they're young enough, they don't remember this. But years ago, we didn't have phones in our purses and pockets. And what did we do then? I'm thinking, best I can tell, when we didn't have phones to talk on or to read or watch, I guess we just stared at each other. I don't remember. We ought to have a day where we all put our phones in a drawer and go about our business and reacquaint ourselves with what we used to do. Because everywhere you are, they got their heads down. And I think there's even a condition that people have in their with neck pain, and I'm not kidding, where their heads are down too much. And I tell you, I have had some situations on the road where someone has almost sideswiped me because they were engaging in a conversation or a text message on their phone. Let us all take heed. Be careful. Doesn't have anything to do with my message today, but be careful there. But the present darkness that we go through is going to be offset by God's reward for waiting. And that's going to be at all times. The ones who endure, those who are investing in eternal goals, they are going to be rewarded. And each small step now adds to every other incremental advancement to make up what we call living for God. Living for God, investing and receiving. Man, God is good to us, isn't he? We are logging in points right now while we're waiting. And while you're waiting for me to finish this, you're investing because you're waiting on the Lord. So how do we qualify for this renewal of strength? Because really what I'm looking for is the prize. I'll stay here, but let me know what the prize is. Simply by waiting on the Lord. Shift your focus. Instead of waiting on the weekend or waiting on the check to come in the mail or just think about, put God in the front of you and say, Lord, through you, I'll get all these other things, but I want to wait on God. They that wait on the Lord renew their strength. So all you got to do to qualify is say, Lord, you're now my focus. You're now the thing that I'm seeking after. So I'm going to wait on the Lord. That's how we qualify. That's all we do. Simply wait on the Lord. It's in his word. So we can stand on it. We can claim that benefit. Matthew 24:12 says, and because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. Well, it will grow cold too when we have to wait too long. But lawlessness will abound. And also because the conditions that create lawlessness are what it causes, their love will grow cold. But it says, but he who endures to the end will be saved. It's about endurance. Have you heard the saying, it's a marathon, not a race or something like that. It is he who endures to the end. We're waiting, and while we're waiting, we're becoming. We're becoming more like our Father. While we're waiting, we're preparing. And so while we're waiting, we trust. We embrace, we endure, and we overcome. And we lose a little bit of ourselves. We discard the weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, so that we can run with patience the race that's before us. We lose a little bit of ourselves, our impatient selves, and we become more like the person that God desires for us to be. Many of the powerful virtues that God develops in us, really they're revealed while we're not even looking. Our attention is sometimes on the line we're in, waiting. The trial that we're going through when we're not seeing an end. And we're frustrated. We're saying, where is God? Where is God? He's working. My children would come home from school and always liked these stories because I was, a part of it. And they'd say, where's Dad? Where's Dad? We want to see Dad. We want to see Dad. And my wife would say, he's going to be off work in a little bit. And we don't know what time. He'll be getting home in a little bit. And I loved walking in the door. And when they were kids, they would come running up to me, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. My wife sometimes would say, I wish I could be that one walking through the door. But I'm glad that you're the one out working. Many times she was working too, and she got her part. But I always loved the children running up, saying, Daddy, Daddy, because I'd been gone, and there was a longing to see their father. And so really, it's that desire that we have. See, while we're waiting, he's developing in us a better and stronger desire for him and a desire for his kingdom virtues and values. And so many of those, they're revealed while we're waiting. Often it's during another battle or a moment of difficulty that we realize God has taken us up another step higher. We come out of something. We come through a trial. We come through that difficult situation, and we confront one of the same roadblocks we had before, or stumbling blocks, and we go right past it without even looking. And then we realize, you know what? I passed that up, and it didn't bother me this time. What happened? Well, while you weren't looking, and while you were enduring, God was developing in you that virtue of patience. He's a great God, and he's doing great things. And I thank you all for listening. Looking forward to tomorrow. We're going to have great church. Be sure and tune in. God bless you all in Jesus' name.